Okay, continuing with the MaintSmart CMMS Software Evaluation Training Series. This will be video number 2. Video number 1, we covered how to download the MaintSmart program, install it, and basically how to log in. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click this desktop icon to start the program. Okay, as the program starts up, remember, we're in demo mode. We haven't licensed the software yet, so we are going to get the demo nag screen, and when that pops up, we'll just go ahead and click the continue button. Okay, we're getting ready to log in to the MaintSmart program, and this video is going to be concerned more with roles and navigation in the program. Alright, so we have 4 different roles here that we can choose from. These are what we call bypass login buttons. You can set these up yourself. Typically, you would only set them up for requester. Requester being generally a non-maintenance user that wants to submit a service request or a repair ticket. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to go ahead and just use these buttons this time instead of logging in with a password and the user ID. And I'm going to click on the administrator, and that'll give me full access to the program. Okay, so I have the screen resized for this video, and we'll notice these navigation buttons at the top. Now, in the previous video, I briefly described the yellow background buttons are configuration or setup. So if I want to add an equipment item, I would go into the equipment setup. Now, this screen is shrunk down for the purpose of this video. In most cases, you'll see these buttons all the way across the top of the screen. On the other side of the screen, the white background buttons are your normal day-to-day data input. For example, I want to create a work order, I'd click here. I want to use a spare part, I would click here, and so on. In the middle, we have green background buttons. These are for reporting and analysis. There's also a couple of other buttons that I didn't go over, and these have to do with reporting as well as some setup. So you can do both on the same screen. And we can get into these in a later video. To start with, I'm going to go ahead and just click on a configuration button. Now keep in mind, I'm logged in as administrator. As an administrator, I can do anything in the program. I have no limitation. So if I want to go in and set up, for example, a new plant, I could do that here. All these screens work the same way. When I want to create a new record, I'll click the new button. I'll populate the required fields that are red, and they can be any color you prefer. And once I'm done, I'll click the Save button, and that will save the record. If I want to edit a record, I'll left-click on the row, make my changes, and then click Save. Now this will all be covered in more detail in further videos. In any event, the point of this video is to illustrate how the different roles will allow you access to different screens. Okay, so I got into really the lowest level screen of setting up a plant and setting up various equipment hierarchy groupings and so on as an administrator, as I should be able to. Additionally, as an administrator, I can set up the passwords, assign the user groups, and I can also set up the permissions for those user groups. Again, this will be covered in further detail in a later video. Alright, so let's log out as administrator and see what happens. Here's our logout. See what happens if I log in as a requester, for example. Okay, if I log in as a requester, it takes me to the work order screen immediately. And notice this is a very simplified screen. There's just a couple of fields that are required. And it actually has a dummy task in here called C comments. I could create another dummy task called C comments, or dummy equipment item rather, called C comments for requesters. If they don't know what equipment they're dealing with and they just want to leave a note for maintenance, that's not a bad idea. You can do that. Then you can set them as defaults for that user. Okay, so the reason this screen opened when I logged in as a requester is because when this requester was set up, they were given a default screen. And let's try going to another screen now and see what happens. I'll try going into the screen we went into earlier as an administrator. You'll notice the requester is unable to access the screen. So basically, as you can see, you can limit the roles of various users. The benefit of this is all people, all users within your facility, plant, building, whatever it is that your maintenance operation entails, will have access to the program at some level. Okay, so basically that's it for this video. This was just designed to cover the roles and the basic navigation in the program. The next video we'll get into actually how to use some of the screens. We'll begin with work orders. Thanks for watching.